Joining me in the room podcast to talk about his next fighting opportunity taking place for New England Fights 52 on May 13th is Nate Russell. What's up, my man? Welcome to the show.
Yo, what up?
Dude, this ain't the first time we've spoken here. You've been on a live podcast with me, but man, you got a big fight coming up on the 13th, another title fight, man. Let's talk about it and this opportunity. How excited are you for this?
I'm hyped. I have never been a man. I've always wanted to fight up there. You know what I mean? That for whatever reason, never got a chance to do it. Now it's the time to do. You know what I mean? So I'm hyped right now.
Well, is there any reason why you've never fought at NEF? You've had a long amateur career, fought basically everywhere, every promotion in New England, and a couple out of New England. How'd the NEF fight come about?
The biggest reason is it's over like 2.5 hours. I think 3 hours away, maybe 3.5 hours. That was the biggest reason. But then family on this day, coach is not available that day, or got to do something else on that day. You know what I mean? It's just nothing ever lined up, especially for the amount of time we had to drive over there and drive back. But I'm glad everything's working now because I can finally get up there.
Well, you're going to be fighting at the Aura, man. I've been there a couple of times. One of my favorite places to watch a NEF fight, man. Do you know anything about the venue and where you're going to be stepping foot?
No, all I know is that it's at like a club or a restaurant. But I mean, that's all I know. So I'm picturing something like the Huki Lao, something like that. But I don't really know.
Well, it's pretty intimate, man. The fans are really close to the cage. They're above you, below you, and kind of even with you, man. So you're going to have a lot of people all over you in that cage, man. You've never fought for NEF. What are you expecting from them as far as a promotion?
For NEF?
Yeah.
Nothing really. Just to put on a good show, get a good quality video, good quality pictures, and get a fair fight from the commission. But I mean, what else can I ask for?
Well, they definitely promote the fighters very well, man. There's still a little whiles before this card happens, man. But already I know that they got great posters out. A lot of media help out with that organization. As far as getting in there, man, you're fighting for their amateur flyweight title, not your first go round, man. How excited are you to get another title opportunity?
It's my first time in Maine, so I mean I never got one in Maine before, so I mean, if I could get one off the first shot, that'd be great. I'd be excited about that.
Well, my man, this is going to be, I believe, your 5th title. You've won 4 titles in other promotions in New England and out of New England. This is going to be your 5th opportunity for another title, man. Is that something that you, looking back, do you know how many titles that you've owned?
Yeah, I know I have 4, but I mean, when I think about it, I don't really think it's that big of a deal considering how long I've been fighting at the amateur level. If you look at these other guys that are great that came out of here, like Carlos Candelario, Mitch Raposo, Johnny Lopez, Justin Valentine, Rich Santiago, all these guys could have easily went and got, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 titles, you know what I mean? So for me to do it, I don't think the only reason they didn't do it is because they went pro and I stayed Emmy. So it's not really that big a deal. The amount of belts I get is just, to me, the big deal is each individual belt. You know what I mean? So this is a big deal at the moment. This moment right here, this is the big deal. Well, if I win or lose, we'll take it from there. But as of right now, that's what I'm thinking about.
Well, you got a tough opponent, man. Young dude, 5-1, Khalib Austin, bro, who is a main guy. He's a NEF dude, man. How excited are you to go into NEF and to be able to fight one of their prospects for a belt and maybe spoil the party?
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to fight him because he has a very similar style to Tyler Smythe. So I want to see how if I fixed any of the mistakes I did going against Smythe, if they worked out for me fighting Caleb Austin. You know what I mean? And see how much improvement it made, or if anything stayed the same.
Well, a coincidence here. I believe Khalib's last fight was against Tyler Smythe also, and your last fight was against Tyler Smythe. You guys both coming off losses, so this is a huge opportunity for both of you, man. Do Did you study like his film, his last fight with Tyler?
I've seen it before, but I didn't really put too much intricate detail into it. I just know he wrestles a lot. He's gonna come forward a lot. He's gonna give me a lot of pressure. Their fight was a lot of wrestling. It was like a wrestling match with some ground and pound, but mostly there wasn't a whole lot standing. So that's what I'm expecting from this one.
Well, as far as that fight you had with Tyler, that was at the Cage Titans for their flyweight title, a title that you did own previously. You know, coming off that fight, you talked about fixing your mistakes. What was some of the, looking back at that fight, what was some of the things you would have changed in that cage if you could have?
I would have tried to keep the fight in the center of the ring. I wouldn't have allowed. I shouldn't have allowed him to back me up so easily. And especially now, not knowing his game plan and then thinking about what he did and then probably thinking about what that probably was his game plan to just push me against the cage and hold me there and, not really care about a knockout or a submission, but just be comfortable with coasting to his decision. I'm definitely trying to put a stop to that.
Well, as we know, Khabib had that fight against Tyler, and it was kind of like the same way. Khabib had him in a little trouble during that fight, also, but it seems like Tyler gets out of trouble. He gets himself in trouble, and then he gets himself out, and then just takes over the fight. As far as going into this fight and the training camp, you're out of FAA. What have you been really working on in this training camp to get ready for this fight?
Lot of wrestling. A lot of wrestling, a lot of getting up, a lot of getting off the cage on the ground, getting off the cage on my feet.
Now,
Been putting a lot of work in there.
now as far as trainer partners, who are some of your direct guys that you're getting to work with?
Oh man, like I said, I've been training a lot with George Nassar. He used to fight a while back. He's out of Boston and he relocated to Connecticut. Justin Valentine, Tony Alvarado, Isaiah Sanchez. He's a new guy coming up. He's doing pretty well. He's gonna do well. Jojo Gonzalez, he's a monster. The rest of the guys at FAA, I can't think off the top of my head. Brandon, I can't think off the
That's
top
all
of
right.
my head.
Hey,
Brandon,
you,
Maddie,
mentioned
Kevin.
Justin Valentin. Is he coming up to FAA, or are you going to Underdog to get some cross training there?
I go to Underdog. I fight out of FA, but I'm at Underdog a fairly good amount of time. So I get a lot of working with those guys. I really respect the guys over there. I really respect the trainers and the coaches over there. I got a lot of love for them. So yeah, I put a lot of work in over there.
Excellent. So as far as this fight, man, you're going to be, I would imagine, the only dude out of FAA fighting on this card. Is that correct?
I don't know. I know we had some guys that were supposed to fight out of there. I don't know if they are or not. I mean, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I'm not sure what happened with those.
Excellent. Well, as far as who's making the trek with you, who's going to be in your corner that night?
Jeremy Libaseski, Scott Libri, and probably Jojo Gonzalez. I'm not sure who else is going to make the trip up to come see me. It's a far drive, 3.5 hours, but it'll be a fun night. I'm looking forward to it,
Nice, man. Well, your last fight was I think in January. So you're not too far out getting these fights, man. You've been busy since coming back, from that layoff you had. How excited are you to get another fight in and kind of stay on the tracks here with fights every like 4 months or so?
Oh, it's so important to me because, like I said, I don't have a lot of time left. I'm not, any fight could be my last fight, and I want to get them back to back to back before it's too late. So I mean, the one before Smite, I fought in like March, and I was trying to get a fight like, every month, and there was nothing was coming through, nothing was falling through. So to be able to get this fight on such a short notice after my last one, it means a lot to me. You know what I mean? It keeps me motivated, it keeps me going.
Well, you spoke about, some of your former opponents, even Joe Poirier, Tyler Smythe. Both of them guys are already pros. They've got a couple of fights as pros. Is that something that you're going to be stepping forward to down the line, pro? Or do you think you're going to finish your career just as an amateur and having fun in there like that?
Well, for a while, I was really undecided. And it was really like, who's the better guy? Who's the best opponent for me at the time? But right now, I'm leaning more amateur and just riding it out there because, I mean, I don't really care about making money or anything like that. And to be able to go pro, I would have to take more time away from my family, which is, I mean, this shit's already killing me. And then if I go pro, like the chances of me fighting longer are less, given that how my age and then the time it takes to get conditioned to do 5 minute rounds compared to 3 minute rounds. So right now, I'm gonna lean to stay amateur, but you never know. It depends on who fights. It depends on when amateurs are coming up. I can't keep fighting. If I stay at amateur, I can't. I gotta have quality opponents to
Yeah.
fight. I can't just fight guys with like losing records or anything like that. You know.
Well, I mean, there's a quality opponent with Khabib, man. You know, going into that fight, you know you're going to be the outsider coming in. Is that something you invite? Because when you went to Cage Titans, it was the same way. You know, you were fighting, you know, except for Tyler, you were fighting kind of in other guys' backyards. Is that something that you like going into there and spoiling parties?
I prefer to do that. I'd rather be the underdog. When I'm expected to win, I don't think I perform as well. I feel like I need to feel like my back is against the wall to really be able to shine and do my thing. I feel like if I'm the favorite, I don't think I you know, like I said, I perform as well.
Well, my man, you're a very humble dude, man. We came out with our rankings. Of course, you're number one, and you're not only number one in New England. You're number one in New York. You're number one on Tapology also, and you kind of pushed that aside and said you didn't think you deserved that. But you know the people that you fight and the way you fight and the titles you held, man. Do you feel like you're the number one guy in New England?
Not, I mean, I really don't. I mean, compared to the guys that I train with, I mean, they beat the shit out of me. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, I mean, I can't be that good. And this guy over here is beating my ass all the time. I mean, how good am I really? You know, Tim's beat me up every day, and Justin's beat me up every day, and Ant's beat me up every day, and you know, JoJo does not let me get off the ground. So it's like, how good am I? You know what I mean? I mean, not to take anything away from my opponents, but I mean, I feel I'm always as good as the next day.
Now you mentioned Tim. I would mean Tim Flores,
Yeah, Tim Flores. Yeah,
who had just fought Justin Valentin at CES. Man, was that difficult for you because you have two training partners here, and they're both fighting each other? How did that work out in training camp with you?
it was a rough. I think I took it the hardest between all three of us because I didn't do any training with Tim. I didn't do any training with Justin. And I'd go to the gym and I'd see Justin and he'd be over there and I'd be like, not even say anything. So I'd be like, what's up? Good luck. You know what I mean? And I go back to FA and I'd be like, oh shit, good luck. You know? Nothing. We didn't do anything together. And it was like, fuck. I didn't even want to watch the fight. I'm worried about them hurting each other,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. They're my boys too. I don't want to see them get fucked up by their friends, by my other friends. So, yeah, I took it the hardest between all three of us.
Well, I mean, you don't see much of that, man. Two big prospects in New England fighting each other. Actually, guys that you know maybe cross trained with each other, man. It's exciting for us as media and fans, but I can really feel it in your heart. You know that's a tough situation for you to be in.
Definitely from the outside looking in, if it wasn't me, I would have been hype about it. I'd be like, yeah, let's go. Like, let's get some answers. This is what I'm fucking waiting for.
Yeah.
I want to see who is that dude. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like being on the inside, it was like it wasn't fun for me. I'm glad I myself didn't have a fight at the same time. Because that would have made it a lot worse.
Well, my man, this fight it's coming up in you know 2.5 weeks or so, man. What's left in preparation before you know fight night to get done right now?
Just get the conditioning down, the rest of the conditioning down, get polished of what's rest that needs to be polished, and float that rest of the week on the weight, man. I'm not really worried about the weight, so just like I said, polish and get the conditioning down until then.
Excellent.
But yeah,
Well-
looking forward to it.
Well, a couple more questions, my man. I know you said it's you know a 2.5 hour drive or so. Do you have anyone making the trip as far as fans, other training partners coming to check you out there?
My girlfriend will be there, and I got I'm not sure who's gonna come up because I haven't been selling any tickets. I've been just telling people, hey, they're online, go get them online. I don't know who bought them, who didn't buy them, but I know some people have talked about going, and you know how that is. I want to go, and then they always want to go until it's time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I might have, you know, a small gathering there, but I might not. Who knows? But I mean, it doesn't really matter. You know, I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't. It's not like I'm going there to fight for them. I'm going there because I want that strap. You know what I mean?
Well, last question, man, before I let you give your shout outs and, social media, friends, and thank yous and all that. What do we expect to see from you, Nate, heading into NEF for the first time on May 13th?
Hopefully a show. Hopefully it's gonna. Hopefully I come away with a dub. You know what I mean? But I can't. I mean, I can't promise that. We got to see how the fight goes. But I mean, that's what I'm looking for. Hopefully, it's probably gonna be a wrestling match. That's what I'm expecting. A wrestling match, probably a UD. Win or lose, it's gonna be a UD. That's what I think. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. See how that, how he reacts, how I react.
Well, my man, Neff was. I know they're excited to have you in there, the number one flyweight amateur in New England, taking on one of their guys, man. A tough matchup for both of you guys, man. So congratulations on going for your fifth title and fighting for like your sixth organization. Since you started in this career, man. It's good to see, bro.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that, man. Thanks, man.
Well,
I'm right now. I'm 0-0 though. This is the first one right now.
yes.
I gotta win this first before I get that number one spot. So
Hey.
we'll just say Caleb's number one right now, and I gotta take it from him.
Hey, man, one thing I have to say is that's a hostile crowd there, bro. That's a hostile crowd, man. They're going to be screaming obscenities at you. They're going to be doing everything in that cage at you, man. Is that something that you're looking forward to?
That's gonna get me fucking hot. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna feel even better. That's like UConn at the fire, like the home games. Like you just go bananas. I'm with it. I'm with that. Let's go.
Well, one thing I know, bro, after the fight, there's always respect, and I've been there. I've been there with a couple of fighters that been on that same side. The hostile against them, and we've partied afterwards, and everyone's kind of cool afterwards, man. Are you going to be partying after that fight?
I mean, I don't drink. I'll be eating like, but I don't drink. I don't drink, smoke. So my partying is like, especially now with my kids. My kids won't be there, so I'm just gonna be eating stuff in my face with my food is around.
Well, my man, congratulations on the matchup, taking on a tough fight, heading to NEF, traveling out there and going for that strap, man. With that said, man, any social media sponsors, any thank yous you want to send out there, and I'll let you get going.
My Facebook is Nate Russell. It's a blank white profile picture. There's nothing spectacular about it. My Instagram is NEIGHT125. Shout out to my girlfriend Sophia. Shout out to her mom. Shout out to my sister-in-law Candy. Always taking the kids. Always holding everything down to allow me to go and do everything that I want to do. That really doesn't bring any enjoyment to their life. It's just all about me. So I can't really say thank you enough for them doing that. Shout out to my coaches, Jeremy Leviskesky and Scott Labrie, for all the training prep and game plan and put me through what they need to put me through to get ready for this fight. Shout out to everybody at FAA. Shout out to everybody at Underdog. Shout out to all my training partners. Shout out to everybody who helped me get ready.
Well, my man, congratulations on another great matchup, man. And we'll definitely get a word after this. Win or lose, man, you're always a fun chat and a very humble guy. And, man, love what you're doing in there. So have a ball on the 13th, bro.
Are you going to be up there?
No, I'm going to be doing a fight companion here. So I'll be watching the fights. But, no, I'm going to be going to CES on the 12th. So I got to stick around here.
Okay, so either way, win or lose, let me know how I go. How you think I did?
I will, man. I'll be calling the fight from here. So, we'll definitely will be watching, my man. Can't wait to see the scrap.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. You have a good, 2.5 weeks left to this fight, and we'll talk after. All right.
All right, man.
All right. You have a good day.
Easy, man.
All right.